Have you ever wondered the moment you walk away, she suddenly starts chasing you? The same woman who ignored your calls, took you for granted and acted indifferent. Now she can't stop thinking about you. It feels confusing, even unfair, but it's one of the deepest psychological truths about attraction. You see, women don't crave the man who begs for attention. They crave the man whose silence speaks louder than words. The man who doesn't fight for her validation because he's already validated by his own peace. That's the kind of man she dreams about when the lights go off at night. It's not about arrogance. It's about emotional control, the power to walk away when your worth isn't valued. Because the man who can walk away doesn't lose anything. He only reveals everything: his strength, his boundaries, his self-respect. And ironically, that's when she starts to feel something she hasn't felt in a long time: admiration. In this video, we'll break down the real reason women want the man who walks away, and how Stoicism explains it perfectly. Point 1. Desire is fueled by uncertainty. A woman's attraction doesn't thrive on comfort. It thrives on curiosity. When a man is always available, predictable, and emotionally exposed, her mind stops wondering. And when curiosity dies, attraction fades. But when a man walks away with composure, he creates a void and a psychological space that her mind rushes to fill. She starts asking questions. Why didn't he chase me? Did I lose someone valuable? Was he different from the rest? That uncertainty triggers desire. The Stoics knew this. They taught that the more we cling, the more we suffer. By letting go, you regain control over your own emotions, and in doing so, you spark curiosity in others. Women subconsciously test for this strength. They want to know if a man's peace depends on them, or if it stands on its own. The moment she realizes your happiness isn't tied to her, she starts to see you differently, not as another man seeking approval, but as a man rooted in calm power, and that's magnetic. Point 2. Walking away reveals true value. You never know your worth until you stop begging to be seen. When a man walks away, he sends a silent but powerful message: I choose myself. And in that moment, his value multiplies. Why? Because in a world where men chase endlessly, the one who withdraws becomes rare. His restraint becomes mysterious, and that mystery breeds respect. Most women don't realize a man's worth while he's present. They only realize it in his absence. When the energy, the attention, the stability he provided suddenly disappears, that's when the emotional silence hits, and they start to crave what they once ignored. Stoicism teaches that external validation is fragile. A man anchored in himself doesn't need to prove his worth. He embodies it. When you walk away, you remind her that your love is a privilege, not an obligation. And that's what flips the dynamic. She begins to chase the peace she once took for granted, not because of manipulation, but because of realization. You didn't lose her. You made her see who you truly were. Point 3. Emotional detachment is power. Detachment isn't indifference, it's discipline. It's the ability to care deeply without losing yourself in the process. When a man practices emotional detachment, he gains control over what every other man loses: his center. Most men collapse under emotional pressure. They beg, plead, and chase because they confuse love with attachment. But the Stoic man understands, love doesn't mean surrendering your peace. It means holding space for someone while still standing firm in who you are. When you walk away calmly without anger or resentment, it shocks her system. Because emotional detachment is rare. It shows maturity, strength, and self-mastery. It tells her you're not ruled by emotion, you rule emotion. Psychologically, this activates what's called contrast, attraction. She feels the difference between you and every emotional, reactive man she's known, and that contrast burns in her memory. So never mistake calmness for weakness. The man who can detach without hate is the man every woman secretly respects, because he's mastered what she can't control: his emotions. Point 4. Absence creates emotional tension. Silence can be more powerful than words. When you walk away, you create emotional tension. The space between what she expects and what actually happens, and that tension draws her back in. Humans crave closure. Women especially are wired to seek emotional resolution. So when you withdraw without drama, her mind replays everything, every moment. Every mistake, every word left unsaid. She tries to decode your silence, and in that process, her emotions intensify. This isn't manipulation, it's psychology. Absence forces reflection. The same woman who dismissed your presence begins to miss it because now it's gone. The Stoics understood this paradox. The less you force, the more powerful your influence becomes. The more you detach, the deeper your impact grows. So when you walk away, don't do it to punish her. Do it to honor yourself. Your silence doesn't need to scream. It already speaks louder than any argument. Point 5. A man's boundaries are his attraction. Boundaries aren't walls, they're mirrors. They show what you stand for and what you won't tolerate. And nothing attracts a woman more than a man with unshakable standards. When you walk away, you demonstrate that your respect has limits. You teach her and in the world there that love without respect is not love at all. The Stoics believed that peace comes from controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't. A man who embodies this truth becomes untouchable. He doesn't fear loss because he knows his worth doesn't depend on anyone's approval. That strength is intoxicating to women. It signals leadership, stability, and confidence. She may not say it out loud, but she feels it. Deep down, she respects the man who chooses dignity over desperation. Every boundary you set tells a story about who you are. And when you walk away with calm certainty, you write the final chapter of that story. One she'll never forget. Point 6. The Stoic truth. You never truly lose what's meant for you. Walking away isn't about ending something. It's about aligning with peace. The Stoic truth is simple. What's truly yours can never be taken, and what leaves was never meant to stay. When a woman sees a man live by this truth, it transforms her perception, because in that moment he becomes free. He's no longer attached to outcome, only to his principles. She may test, she may pull away, but the Stoic man remains unshaken. His happiness isn't conditional. His love isn't needy. His peace is internal, and that's the rarest form of power. This kind of energy draws women in because it's rooted in abundance, not fear. You're not walking away to win her back. You're walking away because you refuse to lose yourself. And that is what women truly desire. Not the man who chases endlessly, but the man who stands firmly in his truth, even if it means walking alone. Conclusion. In the end, walking away isn't rejection, it's revelation. It reveals who truly values you, and who only valued your presence when it was convenient. The Stoic man doesn't walk away out of pride, but out of peace. He understands that emotional control is the highest form of strength, and that silence often says more than words ever could. So if you ever feel tempted to chase what doesn't honor you, remember this: real power doesn't come from holding on. It comes from knowing when to let go, because the man who can walk away with peace is the man every woman remembers. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.